This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. Today's news is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New service and repair. Call Gunny's 775-727-6800.
Welcome and thanks so much for joining us here on KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. It's Tuesday, November 9th.
Well, Nevada Highway Patrol has identified the pedestrian killed earlier this week in a crash on the I-15 in Las Vegas. Brad Francis has more.
NHP investigators say 33-year-old Cameron Paul Ramirez from North Las Vegas was struck and killed by a car early Sunday morning on I-15 near Lamb Boulevard. The preliminary investigation reveals that a Scion TC was traveling northbound on I-15, approaching Lamb Boulevard. At the same time, Ramirez was walking northbound on the right paved shoulder. For reasons unknown, Ramirez stepped into the travel lane directly in the path of the Scion, where he was struck by the vehicle. Ramirez was pronounced deceased at the scene.
He is investigating another fatal crash involving a pedestrian, this one on I-15 near Parum.
This crash happened last Friday, November 5th, around 8:45 p.m. NHP's preliminary investigation reveals that a Nissan Pathfinder was traveling northbound on I-15 just south of the Parum Boulevard off-ramp. At the same time, a pedestrian attempting to cross I-15 from east to west stepped in front of the SUV. The right front side of the vehicle struck the adult male. He died at the scene. NHP says the identity of the pedestrian is being withheld until the Clark County Coroner's Office notifies next of kin. So far this year, Nevada Highway Patrol Southern Command has investigated 70 fatal crashes, resulting in 79 fatalities.
Well, Desert Haven Animal Society is in the midst of a big fundraiser, thanks in part to a national organization called Jordan's Way. Desert Haven Director Beth Cacavullia says that they hope to raise $15,000.
It was so much fun. Jordan's Way's project came out and did a live fundraiser. We were the last stop on their 50-state tour. They do live fundraising here directly, and it's going to last for one more week online. So Jordan's Way is run by Chris Rotunda. He started this project after his dog Jordan passed away. He adopted her from a shelter. She had spent most of her life in a shelter, so he decided to show people exactly what it is about shelter living and raise awareness. So I told everyone if we hit $5,000 in donations that I would allow each one of my employees to dump an ice bucket water on top of me. We were almost there, and just to make sure we hit that and then some, my husband decided to donate $1,000 to make sure that that happened. So if we hit $10,000, we are going to do free adoptions for 1 week. From the day that we hit that $10,000, we'll do it for 1 week after that. The big one is if we hit $15,000, if that happens, I will actually spend the night overnight in a kennel here at the shelter to help raise awareness for shelter animals. Everything you should be able to see on Facebook. They were live the entire time. You can even see a slow-mo of the ice buckets being dumped on me. Commissioner Frank Carboni said that if we had hit $1,000, he would get all of the dogs here at the shelter hamburgers from McDonald's, which he did. They are on the live feed. You get to see them all eat that. Captain Bergwitz said he would do peanut butter kisses, which essentially is peanut butter on his face, and the dogs get to lick it off of him. He was unable to come down today, but we will get him later this week, and we'll have it live. 1 week from today is when it will end, so we have 7 more days to reach our goal.
How do people donate?
They can go onto our Facebook page. You go right there, you'll see the Jordan's Way. It's a big thing, and they just hit donate, and they can put it on there. They can also come down in person and donate. They can also call. We'll take a payment over the phone. So there's many ways that people can come in and donate for us. The telephone number here is 775-751-7020.
You can keep up to date on their progress on Desert Haven Animal Society's Facebook page. We'll return in just a moment with more local news.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, $17 million of President Joe Biden's infrastructure package includes funding for auto safety programs and technology focused on saving lives. Some programs address a mandate created by Congress requiring automakers to create technology to be installed in vehicles by 2026 that might put an end to drunk driving. Nearly 22,000 people have died this year alone in vehicle crashes, in large part due to driving while intoxicated. This is the highest it's been since 2006. Automakers are looking into driver behavior technology that monitors drivers and will notice differences in drivers' behavior, like taking your eyes off the road, drowsiness, impairment, or unconsciousness. The system would warn the driver if that behavior continues, and if it does, warning lights would come on the vehicle and the car would slow down and pull over to the side of the road. The mandate also calls for rear seat reminders to alert the driver if they've left an unattended child in the back seat. More than 1,000 children have died due to heat stroke after being left inside vehicles unattended. Automakers have also directed the emergency requirement for braking and lane departure warnings on all new vehicles, and they say most models will have braking systems installed by September 2022. The infrastructure bill has earmarked nearly $8 billion to build a national network of charging stations, something that Nevada started a number of years ago with the electric highway traveling from Las Vegas through Parum, Beatty, and into northern Nevada. Rideshare companies Motional and Lyft are going to start autonomous vehicles in Las Vegas by 2023.
And as the pandemic continues, a majority of Americans say they feel more resilient. That's according to a recent survey from Parade Magazine and Cleveland Clinic, looking at different issues related to mental health. Brittany Rawl has the highlights.
Mental health remains top of mind for many Americans as the pandemic persists. In fact, according to a Parade Magazine and Cleveland Clinic survey, 56% say as COVID-19 cases rise, so does their anxiety, depression, and stress.
In a global pandemic, there is a lot that is out of our control. However, we can control what we do.
Dawn Potter is a clinical psychologist for Cleveland Clinic. She says there are ways to cope with those concerns. For starters, be sure to get vaccinated if you haven't already. That's going to be your best form of protection from the virus. You could also wear a mask when out in public, even if it's not required. And finally, limit your time on social media and reading the news.
Yes, we need to be informed, so we shouldn't just bury our heads. However, once we feel like we're fairly informed about what we need to do to be safe for ourselves and for our communities, then it is okay to unplug for a little bit and say, I just don't want to hear it today.
Despite the pandemic hardships, the survey showed Americans did grow emotionally, with about a third saying they learned to be more empathetic towards others, better handle stress and anxiety, and increase their desire to give back and help others.
I think that, the way that the pandemic has shined a light on the fact that we need to care about other people, we need to take care of ourselves in order to protect other people, has really probably led to that increase in empathy.
They also became more resilient. 80% say they feel confident they could handle living through another pandemic.
We learned a lot from the survey about habits of resilient people. And so those included seeking social support. Those included trying to get regular exercise, focusing on eating healthy, focusing on getting a good sleep.
However, she says if you are having a hard time with those things, don't be afraid to reach out to your doctor or therapist. They can provide assistance. For Cleveland Clinic, I'm Brittany Rawl.
Well, one local organization is helping people discover their roots. The Parum, Nevada Genealogical Society held a genealogical fair at the Parum Valley Museum, and Paula Elefante says the goal is to help people discover their ancestors and explore their family tree.
We thought it was time to try and get more people in the community involved, because everybody's interested in their DNA and who they are and where they came from and who their ancestors were, and they're interested in finding out more about their family. So we decided that since more people are doing research, that we'd like to have them come and be a part of our group, and we decided to put on this event today, this genealogical fair.
One organization on hand to offer assistance was the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The church offers a free online service called Family Search, which helps people discover their ancestors and explore their family trees.
They would go online to familysearch.org and they could start a tree. And they would, once they start putting in information like their name and then their parents' name and then their grandparents' name, they're going to start getting hints of information, you know. It was through Family Search that I found a registration card from when my grandfather enrolled my mom in kindergarten in Oklahoma.
Wow.
It's the form.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you're interested in exploring your own family's history, help is available. The Parum, Nevada Genealogical Society meets monthly, and Elefante says membership is very affordable.
PNGS, Parum, Nevada Genealogical Society. We meet the third Wednesday of the month right here at the museum at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Our meetings, we're here about 2 hours. We have a meeting, which isn't very long, and then we usually have some sort of program. It could be a speaker on a certain way to research, or organizing your research, or something new that's come up, or DNA. We have a lot to share, and we'll bring in, next year we're going to see more outside speakers coming in, and it's educational. It's for educational purposes. And if you're just getting started, I kind of joke and say we're a very expensive group. It's $10 to join our group for a single, or $15 for a family. And there's so many people here that have years and years and years of experience that if you hit a brick wall, they can help you knock it down.
And the Parum, Nevada Genealogical Society has been in existence for the past 26 years. And if you're interested in becoming a member, simply show up at one of their monthly meetings that are on the third Wednesday of each month at 2 p.m. at the Pahrump Valley Museum. And just to let you know, there will not be meeting in December. And stay tuned, we'll be right back with your sports and much more.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, just one game remains between Pahrump Valley High School's Lady Trojan soccer team and the state championship. With more on that and other sporting news, here's Doug Ferber.
Hello, sports fans. 1 week ago, there was great anticipation for winning regional NIAA championships for the PVHS girls soccer, boys soccer, girls volleyball, and football teams. But now there is one team still standing. The #1 ranked Lady Trojan soccer team beat Virgin Valley last Thursday 4-0 to earn a title match with league rival Boulder City last Saturday in Las Vegas. The girls did not disappoint, beating Boulder City 2-1. But only after trailing 1-0 and having to rely on a double overtime free kick off the foot of Paris Coleman and tapped in by Kiara Ramos for the win and the championship. Adriana Avina scored the game's other goal for the Lady Trojans, who now have won 17 straight games. PVHS hosts the state tournament beginning Thursday. The girls play Truckee on Friday night. If the girls win Friday, they will play the winner of the Boulder City South Lake Tahoe game at noon on Saturday for the state championships right here in Pahrump. Tickets can be purchased for all games at the gate or the website niaa.com/tickets/index. Last Friday night, the PVHS football team hosted Virgin Valley in what was a quarterfinal matchup for the Trojans, who had won its last 4 games by a combined score of 158-24. Friday's game was the second time these two teams met this season. Virgin Valley took the first game in September, 42-18. Trojan coach Joe Clayton had hoped his team's physical strength up front would lead his Trojans, but Virgin Valley dominated the game, winning 35-0. The Trojans finished the season at 4-4 after starting off 0-3. The 4A and 5A state championship football games will be played at Legion Stadium on November 18th. The Las Vegas Raiders can't catch a break, losing receiver Henry Ruggs, who has been charged with a felony DUI, killing a 23-year-old woman earlier in the week, then having to cut defensive back #1 pick Damon Arnett because of inappropriate social media postings. To top it off, there was Sunday's game with the lowly New York Giants, who were 2-6. The Raiders had several opportunities to pull out a win after leading at halftime 13-10. Quarterback Derek Carr just couldn't get it done as he was intercepted twice by defensive back Javier McKinney, one going for a touchdown, the other ending a late game drive. Even still, the Raiders were driving late in the game for what would have been a game-tying touchdown in the closing moments. Carr drove his team to the Giant 12 with less than a minute to play, and on first down, Carr dropped back to pass and was hit and fumbled the ball. The Giants recovered. Game over. Giants win 23-16. The UNLV Rebel football team snapped a 17-game losing streak dating back to last season this past weekend with a 31-17 win at New Mexico. The Rebels are now 1-8 on the season. And finally, the Las Vegas Golden Knights returned from an East Coast road trip where they won 2 out of 4, and they host this expansion Seattle Kraken at T-Mobile. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. If you have any athletes, inspirational stories, or ideas, drop me an email at dougf@kpvm25.tv. Now back to the news desk.
Thanks so much, Doug. In other news, an educator who recognized a need in her community is helping change outcomes for her students. Under her leadership, young Black girls are finding their footing following pandemic closures and in a sometimes confusing and controversial world. Kim Martinez reports.
I have to fight against Facebook, I'm fighting against Instagram, I'm fighting against body image issues with our young ladies.
An interesting perspective from a fascinating school leader. Kay Ray Jones is the founder of an all-girls private school in Jacksonville, Florida. She's also the youngest Black female private school owner in the state.
Your goals are going to be measurable. They're going to be accountable.
But getting to the point of running a school was not an easy road for Headmistress Jones.
It's very, very hard to find someone that would mentor you and teach you the game.
B Royal Academy is part of a wave of Black-owned schools to start during COVID, all meant to get the kids caught up and to excel.
1, 2, 3. Today, her school serves 50 girls, and they're expecting to keep growing. They're succeeding for a number of reasons, including having a learning model of mixing together the students of different ages and grades.
It's working. All of the kids are excited about learning because no one feels like they're behind or they're inadequate. Whatever we believe, we can achieve.
Another area of focus, making sure the girls are able to visualize their potential through what they call self-courses.
We bring in outside guests into the school, like nurses and doctors that look like them.
And the opportunity to learn financial literacy and launch business ventures is all part of the curriculum.
It's called Creations by Destiny. So I started with lip gloss, and my mom helped me make them, and we had buy different oils and like fruits and stuff, like the little stickers. And we added like glitter and different colors and stuff.
The school has a heavy emphasis on their dance program as well, which Miss Jones says helps build badly needed confidence.
The kids are losing themselves, losing their identity, trying to fit in with the masses. You don't have to change for anybody. Be who you are, be royal.
And be proud, a strong leader for young girls at a time when they just might need it most. Kim Martinez reporting.
Thanks so much, Kim. Well, there's a lot happening at the Nye County School District with this week's student news. Here's Louis Pizzato.
Hi guys, I'm Louis Pizzato, a senior here at Parum Valley High School, and I'm here to introduce you to some exciting news happening here. For beginners, on November 19th from 6 to 9 is our Sadie Hopkins dance. If you guys would like to participate, please contact Mr. Williams during lunch or during his class periods to buy your tickets online. You can only be allowed in if you have online digital tickets. Also, on November 12th and 13th is our Parum Valley play called All Together Now. It's at 7 p.m. and you guys can purchase your tickets physically at the door, but also online tickets are accepted. Also, winter sports is starting very soon. If you guys would like to participate, please have your register My Athlete completed and your physical done by your preferred doctor. Our tryouts happening for all sports are happening this weekend on Saturday.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Parum. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, we get these beautiful sunsets, don't we?
Yes, and they're happening earlier and earlier. A closer look at our weather, sunset, sunrises, and more after the break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. A delight to be here on a Taco Tuesday, and look at this delightful weather we have. It just reeks of like fall. Look at that, 60 degrees from Fernley all the way down to Goldfield. Beatty, you're just staring out at 68 degrees and thinking wonderful thoughts, I'm sure. At Amargosa, 73 degrees. Las Vegas, your 78 degrees is kind of your dew point today. And out in Death Valley, 83 degrees. But here in the paradise of Parum, where the air is pure and the grass is green and everybody does math in their head for fun, 66 degrees is our current temperature. I just did some right there. You didn't even notice. 71 was our high today. Humidity coming at us at 30% and increasing throughout the day quite a bit. Sun rose this morning at 6:15, set about 4:40, just about 40 minutes ago. We'll see a low tonight of about 48 degrees. And look at that humidity index rising up to 55%. Does that mean we're going to have clouds tomorrow? No. Curiously, we're not. It looks like we're going to have some wind, 12 miles per hour. Maybe that's blowing all the clouds out, and then we'll see 4 or 5 days of sunshiny weather. It's going to have a return of the clouds on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but those temperatures all week long going to be just right about 78, 79, maybe 80 degrees. Let's hope, and then maybe the weather will get precocious and really turn out something wonderful. But there you go. That's your weather report. Back to the desk. Here's Deanna.
Good night.
Good night.